2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
It's our fair part show. It's our fair part show. It's our fair part show. It's our fair part show.
G'day there, podcaster.
You're sounding rougher and rougher.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, I don't feel too great. I'm sort of waiting to crash on the weekend.
Yeah, I said on Tuesday night, so we just finished doing our second show together, Belle and I said to the team, I reckon Liam will come in on Wednesday like a puppy dog. He'll be real up and about
Yeah.
because of all the adrenaline from the trip.
Yeah.
And then Thursday will be the crash day.
And then Friday is just going to be a poof. We'll see.
Hopefully, I mean, if you get a good sleep.
Yeah, no, I've been waking up at I wake up and I really want to keep sleeping, but I've been trying to just get the routine in check.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So,
Well-
I still feel like I'm in a bit of a sleep debt, if you will, but I'm still like waking up at
Dude,
normal time. And
Get yourself a whoop. I've got a whoop on my wrist,
Whoop.
and it tells you your sleep debt.
What is a
Tells you how much you owe the
Where can I get one?
the boogeyman. You get them online. I'm doing the free trial, so. don't
Yeah,
know.
we talked about this when you were
Which
away.
model of whoop is that?
This is the Whoop 4.0.
Oh,
But there is rumours that the Whoop 5.0 is coming.
Yeah,
Who
you
said
do
that?
you do sound,
Yeah.
you're not great, but
that's what happens
that
when
was
you go
really,
full send.
It was really drilled in earlier when our big boss came and said hi, and then
Yeah.
Liam spoke to him in front of everyone, and then he turned to everyone and said, "Is Liam still drunk?"
Yes.
And they said, "Oh, you don't sound great," and I was like, "Oh no."
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Of
I
course,
like.
though, not drunk at work.
Absolutely not. And we just said, "Oh no, he's just obviously he's been away and he's just
Yeah,
tired."
he knows the deal. I
Yeah.
actually like here because all of our big bosses are all football men. They're all Brits, really,
Yeah.
aren't
Yeah.
they? And they all sort of get around. Well,
Do you have a cold?
yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just a bit sick, really.
Oh,
Just spiraling.
I thought you were just tired and croaky, but no, you've got like a
I'm
snotty
bit,
nose.
There's a bit of everything going on.
Just to show that, while we're talking about Liam's trip, just to show that I'm a company man tonight, which I would have loved to have gone to, but I got invited to go to the block open houses,
Oh,
but it was 6 to 8 in
And
Daylesford.
in Daylesford.
I would have loved to have gone, but I did turn that down. I said no. Show comes first.
that's like your Liverpool winning the
oh,
league,
totally,
really.
dude.
We're going to
Sam-
the block open house.
My wife Sam couldn't believe it. She was like, "Just get someone to cover, like just have the
Yeah,
day
Liam
off."
just
Just
did it. And you're
I
like,
said,
no.
"Sweetheart, you don't get the duty. You don't get the responsibility
Yeah.
that I have when I wake up in the morning."
Plus, it is like obviously we're all 1/3 of the show, but if Ben goes, that's the button pusher gone,
Mm.
and that's
Yeah.
stressful.
I would have loved because if anyone who watches the block, it's towards the end of the season when the house is almost done. 'Cause obviously they're filming at the moment. When the houses are almost done, they do the open houses, and I've never known because every time we watch it, Sam always says, "Who are these people?" She's like, "Can you get invited to that? Can you go to that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know who they are."
I thought you have been before. You've
Never,
gone.
no, I've been to the houses when they're finished, but I've never been to the open house. The open house is a part of the show.
Oh.
So the way it works is people go.
Oh, is that this then?
Yeah, and then they vote. So you
Oh,
vote on your
no.
favourite house, and then the house with the most votes at the end from the open houses wins a prize because it's usually just for landscaping stuff.
Oh, I thought this was just a hey, do you want to just media come and look? And
Yeah,
then
no.
look,
So
don't
usually
touch and
when
leave.
the show finishes, you get to go look at the houses. But this was like you get to vote on the house you think's the best.
Oh no.
But that's all right. you know?
Well, look, I will say I also did turn something down recently.
Well, you went to a thing though, so you don't get to be all high and mighty. I'm the only one that gets to be high and mighty.
Yeah,
You've been
my
to stuff as
Yeah,
well.
you've been to so much
my
stuff.
high school finally asked me to come and talk, which
What,
was
at, like, our show time?
no, it was at 4 till 6 p.m.
Well,
At a
that's-
year 12 evening thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I said thank you, but no, I have to go to work.
Wow.
So we're all putting in for the show.
Wow.
Was it you and Amelia? Is it Harmer?
Who's that?
She's the Liberal. I think she's running for.
She's
running for a
yeah.
seat.
Oh,
in,
right.
In the region that I live, she's running for a seat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you could have been a politician in another world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, look,
or
I-
Annalise, Josh Dacos's fiance.
Is she
also
running?
MLC. No.
Oh,
Oh, she went there as well, MLC.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
she's
did-
probably been invited. You know, I'm up there with her.
Kate Blanchett as well.
Kate
Kate
Blanchett,
Blanchett.
yep.
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 Big names.
Yeah, there's a few others.
Who else? No, who
They're
else?
deep cuts.
Go on, give us a deep cut.
Hamish Blake's girlfriend before Zoe.
Oh, that is. I mean, that is a deep cut. Yeah. I was like, how deep can it be? Oh, yeah, that's deep. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, you know.
I mean, that's
We
still.
spit out the
If
best.
Kate Blanchett went to your school, you went to a pretty good school. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you
Well,
could
then
look
again,
at, like,
you could say Dr. Dre went to my school. You probably didn't go to a good school.
exactly.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
anyone, everyone goes to school. Like, you know,
You might have gone to a great school.
No, they were from Compton, man. They were from the hood. They didn't. Yeah,
Jacob Elordi went to the school across the road from me. That's cool.
yeah.
I saw a
And
great
Belle
video.
grew up in the Compton of Melbourne, Camberwell. It's hard out there.
Quick side note, Belle, I thought you'd like this. I saw a video today of, is it one of the Jenners? Is it Kendall Jenner? Does she date Timothy?
Oh, no, Kylie.
Kylie. It was
Bless.
Kylie Jenner with Timothy Chalamet, and they're at a festival.
At Coachella.
Is it Coachella? And she's really into it, and he
Yeah.
looks
In
like
the mosh?
he's hating
Oh,
in
yeah.
the mosh.
Yeah. So, and that was actually seeing, so her ex was on stage.
Oh,
as well.
really?
Yeah, Tiger.
Oh, that gives it context why he was hating it.
And he's saying that,
Yeah.
and she's like,
She's like, uh-huh.
but that's their whole thing is like every time they're in public, she's like weirdly touchy-feely with him, and he's kind of just like, no.
Weirdly, I was looking for the security guards, but I couldn't see any security guards. They had to be there somewhere.
No, so they were in the part where like Justin Bieber is, and it's like the VIP. Like that's like the celeb bit. So
okay.
that whole part is
For celebs.
And so all the you didn't watch White Lotus, but all the White Lotus cast. were
Yeah, I
there as
saw
well,
that
watching
because they were
Lisa.
seeing Lisa
Yeah.
from Blackpink, who plays Mook. Good
Yes.
show. Well, another thing that we didn't get to touch on yesterday is between all of this, this gallivanting, there was a wonderful trip that we went on with our good friends at the South Australian Tourism Commission.
Who we love dearly.
We do.
Oh, yes.
And it was
And if you're ever going to go to SA, make sure you, like, if you've been thinking about going there, make sure you do visit South Australia
yeah, you should.
and all it has to offer.
Well, celebrate the simple pleasures, some
Correct.
might say.
Yep, I saw a billboard today in Melbourne saying Adelaide or South Australia
Yeah,
celebrate
simple pleasures. That's
Yes.
the campaign that they've got out at the moment. It was very nice for them to invite us on this trip because you sort of don't have to convince us. I mean, obviously, Ben and I are from there. Bill lived there for a few years. We all love Adelaide.
It was
It's our spiritual
beautiful.
home. But yeah, this trip was amazing. And Ben, you sort of did some of the activities, the bits and bobs, but with young kid, obviously,
Yeah, there was
you
a
weren't staying over.
There was accommodation, which looked lovely, but we opted out of the accommodation because we had Freddie, and it was 12 and over, which is totally fair. So we said we're going to stay home.
And
just-
also Sam's pregnant, and you've got all that. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot going on.
Yeah.
But Belle and I stayed. We had a nice date night with it. We did our first double date, really, with the partners.
yeah.
Forgot about that, right?
Yeah.
And there was also a hot air balloon involved in the Barossa.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the dinner. Can I say one thing
You
about
can say
the dinner?
one thing about the dinner.
So
yeah.
we had
But only one.
we had a dinner, and obviously it was like Liam, Sarah, and then Christian and I, and it was beautiful, but it was like it went over hours and hours. Like we thought it was going to be like
There was a lot of
pace.
wine.
Yeah, but they were doing like wine pairing and like bring out the food, so it was like over 2 hours long. And Liam and Sarah were like, "No, we're going to go to bed," because we had to get up at like 4 a.m. to go in the hot air
What,
balloon.
and it was
the
still
next
going.
morning.
The dinner was still going.
It was still going. It was like 10 p.m., 10 something, and I was like,
Had you had
"Oh,
dessert yet?
no." So
Because
they left.
they were pulling the wine.
They
yeah.
left just before dessert.
Yeah.
And then they thought they didn't know that these guys had left, so they thought that there was 4 of us. So they brought out all this dessert.
She had 4 desserts.
And Christian just goes, "Yeah, they're not coming back," sick, and just pulls the bowls over to him and just inhaled everyone's dessert. Because I
Nah.
wasn't having it either. I was full.
Nice.
And he's just there with
4
4
desserts.
bowls of dessert.
What a king.
And they had like all different kinds of desserts. So Kristen's there like
Oh.
sick, and then also just poured your wines. So he had glasses. He's like me. If something's free, he'll go for it. So yeah, we sat there with your dessert and your wine. And the dessert
Well, you
wine
know,
as
he
well.
lived through the Great Depression, so he'd hate to see it go to waste.
That is true. He's very old.
Hey, it's his birthday this week, so he's feeling very
Wow.
Oh,
Did you get his
happy
letter from the
three-
Queen yet?
Happy 300th. This is his 3rd letter. He was cryogenically frozen for a few
He's
years there.
43 this week.
Tricentenarian. Is that even a thing?
Yeah,
He's a
after the
vampire.
bicentennial, it's the tricentennial. Actually, just quickly, I'll put a pin in what I was going to say about the hot air balloon. Speaking of you being a scab and taking free things, they Belle was like ransacking the table. Like, so we went to this beautiful lunch.
Is that the
at-
one that I went to?
Yes, the
Ben was
Hyson.
there,
The Hyson. So Hyson's famous artist, Hans Hyson, South Australian artist, and he's got this private property which is family gave they gave it to like the state basically.
Yep.
But it's a private venue sort of still, so there's not like they're doing lunches. So they brought these chefs in, and it was like this sick thing. We were lucky to be there. And after everyone had left, Belle was scavenging like a pauper, and SATC people talked to me about it. They're like, "What's she doing?" And I was like, "Oh, she does that." And she was like, "Do you want this serviette?" Like she was like taking all the lemons and things.
They had
but
lemons
also,
on the table, they're beautiful lemons and like grapes, and I was like, well, they're obviously just going to go to
I
waste.
can't remember the word this one lady used though.
Rat.
No. It was actually funny because she was actually talking about you. What's it? What do you? If you decorate a table, it's like table.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, she used it.
I heard this word when I was getting married.
Yes,
we were planning
they
a wedding.
call it like table decorations. Oh,
I get what you're saying. Though,
I feel like
a
it would
table
hit harder.
decorator.
Table decoration.
Table furniture.
Yeah, maybe table decoration. Are you looking it up, Ben?
Yeah, I'm trying to Google it.
It was a really funny term.
But they
'Cause
also,
it's
the
so-
way that they did furnish and decorate the table was incredible. It was one big long table for everyone to sit on, and it was beautifully
Yeah, but
set.
one of the lovely SATC ladies said, "Have you got it there? The term?"
I'm trying to find it.
I found it so funny. What the
If
word
I
she
find it,
used.
I'll let you know.
But just say table decor. It wasn't that. It was like more of a fancy term.
Yeah.
But she was like, I think Ben was eating the table decor.
I was eating the grapes. Yeah, I was
'cause they had
smashing,
it.
I was
laugh at
smashing
me.
the grapes.
Yeah,
No, but
Ben's
there's a
sitting there
but
reaching
there's-
over,
They're
eating
like,
the
I'm
decorations.
pretty sure Ben was eating the table.
Yeah, no,
and
I
it was
smashed
before
them.
the
They were
food started.
They were really good grapes. They were
They were
really
like these
good.
nicely laid out
They were
grapes with
huge.
candles and stuff.
Yeah.
Ben was hoeing
Yeah, but
into them.
the food hadn't come out yet. So not only was he like sitting there eating the table decoration, but it was like he was eating away at the decorations like early on. Like he was just clearing that
That's
table.
so funny.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's different at the end of a day when everyone's done and leaving, and then you're scavenging it, as opposed to I'm just sitting there and there's a big pile of grapes in front of me.
Tablescape. Thank you, producer Ben. Put it in.
Tablescape.
Ben was eating
Sounds
the
like
tablescape.
I was.
It was such a funny because I'd not
Yeah.
heard that term, but I was
Yeah.
like, I so got what you meant. I was like, oh, obviously there's like someone who's come in to like
Yeah.
create the tablescape and the mood board.
I also reckon I got the guy next to me onto it. He was from the Guardian.
He's like,
He
"Ooh,
was
try some of this tablescape.
he was a nice guy. We were chatting sport for the whole thing,
Yeah.
and I was honing into him, and I said, "Mate, they're really good."
He's
I
like,
reckon-
bro,
He
you
was
really
like
shouldn't.
a-
That's the tablescape.
Yeah.
Honestly, he was like a Ben 2.0. But yeah, who said to you? Someone said to you like, "Oh no, Ben's sitting all the way down the end." And Ben was having
Oh,
the best
Hayley
time.
Pearson.
Mm.
She's
Oh,
does a show
right.
at Mix and Adelaide. She lovely person, but she yeah, Ben. So everyone had like someone behind them, and I think they sort of split Ben, myself, and Belle up like across the table. So
'Cause
they,
it's one of those things where they want you to
they
mingle.
want you to
Yeah.
mingle,
Mm.
and I could tell Ben was furious when he got there that we had to mingle. But
Yeah.
then he was like, they're like, Hayley was like, "Oh my god, Ben's got no one in front of him," and he's like on the very end of the table, and I was like, "That is exactly where he wants to be."
And I swapped with the lady next to me so I could be closer to Ben,
Yeah.
so that then I wouldn't talk to him and he'd be okay.
When I saw they split us up, I was really stressed about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I saw where I was sitting. It was at the end of a massively long table. Opposite me was an umbrella. And to my right was a bloke from The Guardian who just wanted to talk about sport. And
Yeah.
then diagonal me was Belle, who was like, I was fine with that because at least I know Belle.
Yeah,
You're in your
Um,
element.
And I was just eating tablescapes. And I was talking to the guy next to me. And then
tablescape grapes.
Hayley Pearson, who we loved her for a long time, she came down and she was like, "Oh my god, like this is where you're sitting," and I was like, "Yeah," and then she said, "Good chat," and then she left.
Everyone's used to that with you.
Yeah,
But so anyway, so we've woken up, boozy dinner. Thanks to our friends at SATC, the lovely Louise and Brossa. If you ever get the chance, please check it out. Lovely spot, great staff, very friendly. And
They make your room twice a day.
why would you need your room made twice a day?
Did they not do that for you?
Well,
They did
why
it
would you
twice.
need
So
to-
in the morning, oh my god, they would have done. In the morning, they like made your bed and like
oh,
set
turn
up
down
the stuff.
service.
I don't know.
yeah. You're
But then-
talking about turn.
Oh,
service.
sorry,
Bell's
I'm
not
not
familiar
familiar
with
with
turn-down
this. This is new for me.
When you get to like Ben and Lamb level,
Ah,
turn down
bloody
service
hell.
is pretty.
yeah, but then they come in the afternoon.
It's the simple pleasures.
Yeah, it's the simple things.
They come in like at night, where they obviously like knew we were out
Yeah.
somewhere, and then they'd
I
like,
leave a
light
hotel.
the candle. They'd light a candle for you. They'd boil the kettle
Yeah,
for
put
tea.
a small
put the
chocolate
tea-
down. Yeah.
Okay, well, for some of us, this is new, and I was just.
Well, they pull the sheet
gobsmacked.
back. And,
I
you know.
remember, Liam. I reckon you told a story the first time you had turn down service many a year ago.
Yes.
You woke up in the morning because you didn't know the chocolate goes in the pillow, and you woke up with it stuck to your face.
Yes. Yeah. First time experiencing turn down service.
Many a year ago.
Many,
well,
many years ago.
okay, some of us have just experienced, and I've told everyone. I've been like, they came in twice a day.
Surely in all of Christian's years he would have experienced one.
Well, he's lived a long life, but it hasn't been as lush
long life.
as you guys. Okay, he comes from Clayton. Dare I say?
Sorry for anyone that lives in
Yeah,
Clayton.
geez, sorry for Clayton.
No,
But is it better
I
than Lower Light and Golden Grove? Like
Yeah.
that, or is it on par?
I'd say it's on par. But he
Okay.
grew up with he was in gangs growing up.
Yeah, well, we were
I don't
from
know
the
if I should
school of
say
hard
that.
knocks.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So we, like, we just got to the stage where we got turned down service. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't growing up with turned down service.
No.
But now I get
I'm
it.
not used to
No, I
this.
enjoy it.
I'm not used to you being like business class and like turn down service. Like this is all very new.
Yeah, I went for a wee on the plane. I came back with small chocolates and a tawny.
Yeah,
wing.
turn down service on the plane. That's
course.
insane. That's wild.
Of course, I'd protest if there wasn't.
Anyway, the
how
hot air
else
balloon.
would I know it's time for my slumber? Anyway, so the hot air balloon. Yeah, woke up, boozy dinner, and I slept awfully that night. Probably because of the wine. I was having some acid reflux. I'd probably just had over enjoyed the simple pleasures that day. A lot of cheese.
Yep. And there is a lot of that in SA.
There is so much. And I got up at like 1 to go to the toilet, and then I was like, I better not like sleep through the alarm. You know, you do that thing sometimes if you've got an early flight or whatever. And so I didn't get back to bed for 1, which was, and it was just annoying me because I'm like, oh God, I've only had like 2-3 hours sleep. And then we got picked up, and the guy was a legend who ran the tour, and he was like very passionate about ballooning. So like we got out there and we got onto this hot air balloon, and just as they sort of take it up, you sort of realize you're like, oh, like I thought I'd be strapped into this. Just about as it starts going up, you're
And
like,
it's
oh,
like the basket from, I didn't do this one, but I've done it before. It's
Yeah.
about waist height.
it literally
Yeah.
is. And I suppose there's no difference to, yes, of course you could flop
Fall
out of
off
a
a balcony.
balcony if you
Yeah.
wanted to, but you know, like, so, but you're like, oh wow, and especially because the balloons can go. They don't, but they can go up to 10,000 feet if they want to. They're like allowed to, and you would be able to breathe at that height still. So it gets pretty high. And, but it was so funny because when we were up there, he was doing this great tour, and this guy's been running it for like 30 years. And we're like going all around. He was like, now you might be able to get that smell. He's like, that is the smell of chicken poop. He's like, because over there is this chicken factory, and he went into all these like stats about it. He was like, now these chickens, they're born, 8 weeks later they're sent off, and he's like going into how many hundreds and hundreds of chickens. He's
And
like,
he's like, look, there's more over there. And then there's 7 more over there. These
Like-
sheds full to the brim of chickens. And they only live a short life.
I was
And
dying
this one
because
girl
Belle
was like, this one girl's like, oh, for eggs. And he's like, no. And I felt like being like, no, you freaking idiot.
But
And
Belle was on
I-
the other side of the basket, and I was looking at Sarah's laughing because I was like, "That is an impressive amount of chickens that are coming out of that place." But obviously Belle has a chicken tattooed on her. She like, you know, she's vegetarian and that. She loves chickens.
We were
Wall-to-wall
surrounded.
chicken.
No, we were so
This is the biggest chicken factory in the southern hemisphere.
And then he goes,
Such short
literally,
lives.
and he literally was like, and just over those trees, 7 more sheds. He's like, they've only been built. And then the
Yes,
landing.
Yes, the landing was pretty funny as well. So you like, I don't know if you've been ballooning beds, so you know, but I think they're all like quite nice in this region. So they're just all. You land in basically farmers' fields, and there's sort of a peace agreement. Maybe he brings them a slab at the end of the year. He's like, "Cool, if I land in your field, we'll be out of there quick, smart." But yes, yeah, no. When we did land, it was it was right on top of.
It was a sheep's graveyard.
It was a bit,
It was-
sort of like the killing fields of sheep. So it's sort of like
Shit,
so
you know what, the balloon starts, and
Belle-
I saw it from a mile away, and I was like, get out, we're not landing
Belle was
there.
already tearing up about the chicken sheds, and then we landed.
There's like skulls and skeletons, and then like
Little
literally
bits
like
of wall
like
and
full
stuff
carcasses, and
Yeah.
the basket starts going.
dragging across the bones, dragging across them, and then he
Christian was
sort
like
of.
holding my arm, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "This is not happening right now."
I was like, "This is hilarious. Like, this is." And now, you know, who knows what happened to those sheep, but like anyway, and then he realized. He realized, like, late on in the piece, because he's obviously concentrating on a lot of things,
And the basket again,
scraping
along the
along.
bones.
And then he was like, he's like, you know what, folks, we might pop into another field. And he was like, so then he just squeezed his hand and went, and like put a little
Yeah.
bit of heat in the
Yeah.
balloon, and we just like literally just jumped like 2 meters over a fence, like,
And then he was like, "And now we're here."
and we land. And then obviously the basket tips over, and then like everyone has to help folding the
Yeah.
balloon back in together because
Yeah.
this thing's massive. So That's probably more what he was thinking of, that we're all going to fall into the bones.
Then walk around in the dead sheep, folding the balloon up. And
Yeah.
then Christian lost his sunglasses while folding up the balloon. So they could have been lost in carcasses, which then we had to try and look for. It would have been like,
But obviously that was like, didn't plan that. The wind takes you where it takes you.
Yeah.
And also the chicken thing, for people that don't not like eating chickens, it was quite fascinating.
it's
I was
not.
like, no,
How
but
is that
it was just part of
fascinating?
the tour. He was just doing, and I think
He didn't need to point them out.
No, he wouldn't have mentioned it, but the waft came from all the.
Yes.
the,
And he pointed it out
chicken.
in our car when we were driving there. He was like, there's the chicken sheds. And I was like,
Every year,
dude.
B&E buy thousands of chickens.
They are
What?
one of the biggest industrial chicken manufacturers on the planet.
It was a beautiful ride, but that was
That was a funny
a
bit.
little bit of hell for me.
But I'm just looking at Bill's face.
But I did, every so often I would, like, whenever he was talking about it or the sheep thing was happening, I did glance over at Liam, and Liam was looking at me, like, laughing. I was like, dude, this is
Hey,
this is my worst nightmare.
When you're in SA, it's just all about those simple pleasures.
Isn't it just?
And that's it.
Liked that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.